You do not seek power or popularity. You simply ask, is the thing right in itself? If it is, you do it no matter the cost.
As soon as I start working, I'm just like holding my scar. It's really great. Yeah, I like that better. Fruit. I got the point. It's fine. Sweet. It's too much. We're doing too much. You promised the world, so I met your demands. Placed the world on my back and not in my hand.
Dearest Jilly, sometimes I feel there is a hole inside of me, an emptiness that at times seems to burn. I think if you lifted my heart to your ear, you could probably hear the ocean. In the moon tonight, there's a circle around it, a sign of trouble not far behind. I have this dream of being whole. I'm not going to sleep each night wanting, but still sometimes, when the wind is warm or the crickets sing, I dream of a love that even time will lie down and be still for. I just want someone to love me. I want to be seen.
Don't worry. Everything that you want, it'll come. You'll win some and lose some, but you'll appreciate life with every rising sun. You can stop the endless run. Live in the moment and be happy now. You have a lot to be thankful for. There's no need for the internal war.
Oh, that's so funny. Isn't it? So chaotic. I love it. It's so chaotic. That's so kiss me and take off your clothes. I miss you too. How are you? I'm good. I'm so tired. You smell nice. Thank you. I bathed.
Okay. You guys have stalked me long enough. I'll finally answer you. So this is how it went down with Pete. I'm not chasing anything. Mm-hmm. And that is the best feeling. Whether it's like at the beginning of your career, chasing fame, chasing money, chasing a relationship, chasing happy, like it's just all here. Pete has got to be literally the best human being I've ever met. Like the best heart. People always say like, oh, he's so funny. And it's like has to do with how funny he is. That's like fourth on my list of why I like him. Always wants the best for people, can handle anything, always does it with grace. Like he's really, really thoughtful and humble and just so genuine. I would say the perfect word to describe Pete is genuine. He is such a good person. I can't even explain it. Like he just has the best heart and always like thinks of the small things.
I don't know, I feel like there's such a ingrained like, how dare you take up space? How dare you make noise, especially if you're not going to do it perfectly.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I understand that. I reject that mindset 100%.
Me too.
Yeah, I reject that. And it has taken me a very long time. I'm not putting myself through this anymore.
Fair enough, yeah.
If you're putting yourself out there, you do want to go out there and look confident. Like that is something. Like nobody wants to put on like a half-ass performance. And so I don't ascribe to that. However, to be able to get to that point, you have to be willing to like make mistakes, and you've got to take risks and, you know, kind of be bold with the mistakes you're willing to make. Yeah. And you shouldn't live in fear of making mistakes. And I think that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing that will get people, is like the fear of doing something wrong.
Personally, it's rooted in like two different things. Like one, I did get a lot of shame for making mistakes, not musically, but like in life growing up. And then the other was like identifying so much with the art, like as like a person, like intertwining my identity with what I create. So if I do it badly, then I must be bad. Right. Which is just not logical.
Right. No, that is not logical. But it is, I mean, and I feel like, I think every performer has that, but I think for singers too, like we are our instrument. Yeah. And, you know, voice lessons are I'm asking you to be very vulnerable, right? Extremely. I'm asking you to be extremely exposed. And because it's like, oh, well, but it's not like this thing that I can put down and put back in a case that made a bad noise, right? It's like, it's me. Yeah. But the beauty of singing and your body being your instrument is that most of the time, most of our problems, we create also ourselves. The voice does know what to do. It does. Yeah. It will do it. We have to get out of the way. And there is this like balance of like providing the support that the air needs, providing the air, providing the support that the voice needs to function optimally, but then kind of letting everything else go. Yeah. And there are things that we can tweak, lifting your soft palate, thinking about where you're focusing your sound, all this stuff, but that is like, that's all kind of peripheral details.
Yeah, I feel like the best notes that I've hit and the best sounds that I've made have been like, okay, I trust myself to support it with air and to make the shape, and that everything's just gonna come, like that. Absolutely. Like freedom of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of like this is a safe place to make all of the mistakes, because we want to make them here. Yeah. We want to make them here before we're out there, is the goal, right? So we make all the mistakes here so that we tweak, and then we go out and we knock people's socks off. Like that is the ultimate goal. So I am now going to ask you to do something kind of gross. You're going to take 3 fingers and put them in your mouth.
I've done that. So like against the cheek here?
No.
Oh, I haven't done that one.
Yep, you don't have to put a trill or anything on there, just Good, so much better. Now, your mouth, that wide open, leaving it there. Good, much better. So much easier to sing with your mouth open. Excellent. Now, to get your breath under you. Okay. I'm getting a lot of shoulder action. Yeah? And the shoulders aren't going to do much for you as far as supporting your sound. Yeah? So we that deep, like, do you do yoga or anything like that? So yeah, that nice low, like yoga breath, yogi breath. Yeah? Nice, low, expansive. That's better. Think even lower. See what I'm saying? Terrible pianist. actual vocal cords are doing too much work.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you feel that? Okay. So how do we get them to stop working so hard?
I don't know. I feel like I'm used to changing the notes and the tonal quality all just through the vocal cords.
Your vocal cords are just like two little rubber bands draped over a tube, right? So there's not a lot of power that can come from there. It really comes from the rest of your body. Then the focus needs to be up here in what we call the mask. Have you heard that term before, singing in the mask? So I want you to think about your voice actually exiting, not as, the mouth is still important, right? Easier to sing with your mouth open. But your resonance should be focused here, yeah? And by focusing like right between the eyes, you start to access all of these natural built-in resonators. So like your head shape, your eye sockets, the nasal cavities, your sinuses, all this stuff acts like little mini built-in amplifiers, which is why an opera singer can sing over a 60-piece orchestra in an enormous hall without amplification.
Yeah.
The principles are like it across the board. It works for whatever genre of music you want to sing, whatever style you want to sing. If you get out of your throat, you sing from your diaphragm, and you focus your sound up here, it's just going to make your singing easier, and it means longevity. So you can sing whatever you want for however long you want, which is, I mean, that's really what anybody wants to be able to do that loves singing, is to be able to do it for as long as they want to. I mean, there are plenty of singers. There are all sorts of caught up in their throat. And they're still wonderfully successful, right? Wildly successful singers. Is their longevity spectacular? No, probably not. So this is just for health and longevity. Yeah, keeping the throat open, keeping your larynx relaxed, and letting the rest of your body do the work. Yeah? So it really is like a full body experience. If we just keep ourselves limited to right in here, there's not much.
I almost went down the wrong pipe. That would have not been good.
There's not much that can happen here, right? That's pretty limited. So really think about singing with your entire body. Okay. Something to just start practicing at home is kind of getting in the groove of the diaphragmatic breathing. It's like, no, your body knows how to do it.
Yeah.
It's just because I told you to think about it.
Yeah.
So practicing your breathing, and then also when you're practicing, get in a mirror and watch yourself.
I mean, I've noticed the difference because, you know, back when I was breathing properly, just the oxygen flow was so different. Like, it impacted everything in my life.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you all sorts of wonderfully weird things to do in here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I will. Don't worry. You're going to feel like, oh, performing in front of people after she's made me do, like, wall sits and make all of these weird noise.
Sounds fun.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you. I'm really looking forward to this semester.
I am too. I just had the most hilarious conversation with one of my professors where we're like trying to figure out how we're grading my independent study, and they were like, oh, it's just gonna give you an A for this thing, and I was like, yay. Just like casually talking about it. But I am fighting a headache. I was dissociative for a bit of my voice lesson just because it reminds me of a really traumatic time, like peak of coming out of abuse and like in survival mode and just starting therapy, and when I put the arts and my academics on the back burner so that I could heal. And so the healing album, going back to my love of performing, after developing social anxiety and stage fright, after beginning my life being a performer, and circling back to a time when I was at an art school and when I was doing training, I was, just starting to recover, and I wasn't like performing what I was learning. And I don't know, to circle back and to actually be producing an album about that pain and to show up and be a performer again, it's so rewarding. It's who I always wanted to be. It's who I am deeply. But oh my God, is it hard.
I just saw a TikTok that called called the glass between you and the hockey players the boy aquarium. Oh my God, it made my day.
Hey. So, yesterday I had my first voice lesson returning. I think I brought that up in the last update, that it was just funny to me that I was given the same advice that I give to singers, because it's just been a while since I've had the muscle memory of training. But then I had my musicianship class, and every other Wednesday there's going to be the lab with the dance improv. It's not 2 classes on Wednesday, it's like I thought it was. But we have that again this afternoon, which is really the only like appointment that I have today. But I'm making pretty good progress in music overall. Like I said, I kind of drafted the 22 melodies before the term began. I have just been working on ad dropping for my independent study and writing my like lesson plan and proposals and like all of the technical documents so that these classes can be affirmed before ad drop is done. But also, because my sleep schedule's been so messed up where I'm not falling asleep until like 2 or 3, I've just decided to live with it, where I'll get like all ready for bed and cozy, and then for like the 5 hours from like 11 to 3 I will just do all of my writing. And so I'm in bed writing, and last night I finished the notes that I had started for, I think it's going to be like the 4th podcast episode. 6 pages of notes. I'll probably record it either today or tomorrow, but it's The Power of Being Blonde, which I know is going to get so many assumptions projected onto it immediately just by that title, which is kind of why I chose it. It is the point of the episode that the stereotypes and the objectification of these women, as well as 6 pages worth of other experiences and how Hollywood's projected and how we've viewed women throughout history and everything. I love the random pile of like dishes and food on my bed. Didn't even notice that. And then it kind of went into, well, yes, we like objectify and villainize and call these women like dumb and incapable, and then we pit women against one another. But then there's also this like purity and whiteness that we've established through society that then even further puts down women of color. And it's just talking about how the patriarchy actually serves no one, not even men, and through the lens of like how Legally Blonde has challenged things in media, how other female blonde characters, but also how they fit the stereotypes, how we've framed women. Like, oh God, I'm forgetting what the name of that test is, of like whether or not there's more than one woman in a film and whether or not she speaks about something that has nothing to do with a man, which is absolutely ludicrous. But yeah, and I went down the rabbit hole of like the symbolism that is Marilyn, that she's not a human anymore, how we view celebrity, how how the Barbie movie impacted our current perspective. It was a rabbit hole, and by the end I was truly crying because, especially as somebody who grew up in the early 2000s and has always looked like this, I honestly, like, I feel like people completely dismiss your experience because of what is like chalked up to as pretty privilege, but like very rarely actually an advantage or a privilege. And I think especially when you are actively being abused, that's dismissed. When you're neurodivergent and you actually don't understand the social dynamics of why you're being objectified, that's completely dismissed, that you must know what you look like, which I had no concept of the majority of my life. And then just being like a child in a time where media was hypersexualizing these women and infantilizing them, and the blonde dumb was more famous. The dumb, wow, that didn't help the cause, was more famous than ever. That, I don't know, like in my like very formative years, even like pre-adolescence, that was something that like not only my peers but like the adults in my life would like tear me down. And again, I was so like out of body because of the experiences that I had. I had like no idea why I was torn down so much. And yeah, I don't know.
You're so emotional. Thanks, I've worked really hard to be able to feel and express my emotions deeply. Okay, well, you're really weird. You really think so? I've spent a lot of time trying to stop dolling my uniqueness to fit in with other people. Well, you're really quiet. Thank you, it's taken me a lot of effort to be comfortable with listening and observing before I speak. Okay, you're sensitive. Thanks, I've worked really hard to get to know myself and establish clear boundaries. You overanalyze everything. Thank you, I really pride myself on my ability to analyze situations and navigate my emotions logically.
The amount of times I think to myself and say to my friends, boy, if you don't. So I'm not normally a reality TV person because honestly, I'm someone who very much feels the media I consume. And so like, I don't watch horror movies or anything because I'm like, I don't need to activate that part of my brain that's going to think, oh my God, what's going to kill me, you know? But anyway, I don't watch reality TV because then like anything that would cause anxiety or drama, like it makes me anxious. But I've gotten into this show. I say all this to say they're talking about their relationship in this, and the comment that they made was so sweet, but it really is what it's all about. They were like, the thing about my partner is that like they just make every situation so much more enjoyable, so much more present, so much more mindful, so much more authentic, so much more themselves, like yada yada yada. And like they just really get to enjoy the life. And I feel like we've all gotten that when we have like the people that really get us and you feel so seen and celebrated, and like your happy energy is bigger than just yourself, and therefore it has this resonance, this signature that is just grander than your own identity, and that flow can go back and forth because you both manage it. It's an entity entirely outside of self. So I don't know, I thought that was really cool. Anyway, hello. Today I ran to 2 food stores because my friend is sick, so I went to pick up some medicine for her as well, and did some laundry, some dishes, got some food, had a meeting. I'm going to pick up more food and probably have the first Witchcraft Club meet of the term this evening. But I'm just vibing, just put my clothes away and kind of planned some outfits because I do not have like a creative energy to be doing that every morning. Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
It is finally warm enough to be wearing shorts, guys. Okay, so I sat down to film this update and I got a message from my best friend's partner saying that they had seen something that would have been like a really significant sign to me, and so they shared it, and that's so freaking sweet. But anyway,
natural hair day, no makeup day. It kind of looks like I have makeup because when I put on lip balm, it ended up being tinted. But that's it. But yeah, my sleep schedule has not been getting better. I couldn't sleep until like 3 a.m. yesterday. Got locked out of my dorm naked at 2 a.m. Nothing saucy. I honestly was just dancing. I was so sweaty and I was like, I cannot go to bed like this. So I showered, and my door, dude, I swear I'm always in the one dorm in every building that has a problem with the door. Like, there's times where I don't lock it and then I get locked out. There's times where I do lock it and then I come home and it's unlocked. And that's really frustrating because, I mean, it's a super safe community. I'm one of the only people that locks anything, but just for my own, like, mental sanity, the fact that I can have a place where I can keep my things and like my journals and my thoughts and like my possessions, and I'm not really like a materialistic person, but like I don't know, I've just the idea of safety has been an elusive creature in my life. So the fact that I'm like, this is my space where I can dance like an idiot, this is my space where I can, like, I don't know, keep my ID and my passport and all those things, right? So oh my god, I just got a follow-up message that my friend said yay when I was excited about their message. Anyway, yeah, had to call the RA helpline. My friend did. I had to knock on her door while she was sleeping and sick, and then they came and helped me into my dorm. And then it still took me over an hour to fall asleep. And then I got up at a normal time this morning. It was like 8, 9, and I like went to the restroom. My friend's jumping in the shower, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit more because I didn't fall asleep till like 3, and that's not a full night of sleep, so let me go back to bed after this. Slept till 2 p.m. which is so not like me. Like, I like getting up at 5 a.m. Honestly, I haven't had a morning routine like the one that I filmed since I filmed that. Like, that is my ideal morning routine. It hasn't happened since. But I don't know. We're supposed to have a dorm meeting now, but our house RA is still on a field trip. So it's going to be in like half an hour, and then if we're still up to it, we're going to go to the grocery store because we have a house gift card. So we can only use that on the weekends. Because there is like a dorm budget allotted for like cleaning supplies and like pantry staples and things like that, like a little small budget each term, and my friend and I tend to take the responsibility of that on and go to the store a few weekends throughout the term. But also when I get snacks for Witchcraft Club, those cards are only available on weekdays, so it really sucks on a week that like I'm going to go get both, that they have to be on different days. Sometimes they overlap if we keep the card a little bit longer than we should, but they shouldn't overlap. So yeah, waiting on the meeting, and then hopefully gonna get food. And I've just been doing like laundry and dishes and a little bit of cleaning around the house, procrastinating my music work. Probably record not this week's podcast episode because I recorded that last week, but the next one tomorrow. Yeah, I have to do some vocal work because, you know, as an artist, I know when people haven't practiced, so I can't go to my next lesson and like not have been training, you know. So I'll have to do that the next couple of days, but you know, I'll keep you guys posted. I don't even know what footage I have from this week for this episode because I've been so in my head, but yeah.
Remember when I told you guys that everything is about to change and we are entering into a whole new era? Well, this is what it's all been leading up to. Neptune, the planet of dreams and ideals, entering ambitious, action-oriented, forward-moving Aries for the first time since 1861. The door that these past 2 eclipses unlocked and subsequently opened. The thing about Neptune, as well as Uranus and Pluto, is that it's not a personal planet, so its impacts are widespread and take time, as the outer planets are focused on transforming society as a collective.
Do you ever think, it's morning and I can't sleep, so let me put on this ASMR that I know is going to make me feel real safe and real comfortable, and you fall asleep immediately, only to realize the next day when you look at your watch history that that's because it played all of their videos throughout the night. It just kept going. The automatic playback. No wonder I slept so well. I realized...
IRS e-file...
Girl, no. I realized I was not singing through my mask, opening my mouth, or supporting my breath, all of which I was supposed to be working on. But I just wanted to do like a preliminary warm-up to sort of get the vocal cords going, I guess, before training. But I'm going to do little pockets of rest where I do like silent work, like writing or producing or things like that in the interim. I'm gonna try to be on vocal rest as much as I can this term with all 3 of my classes, banking on my vocal evolution, music produced, and shows. But I do have to also record the podcast, and I get to talk to Dylan tonight, so I will be talking later. So I should stop now. Yeah, we're gonna do that with the drums.
So let's think back to the last time that Neptune was in Aries. What happened? Oh yeah, the Civil fucking War, but also the abolition of slavery. Because Aries is a rather aggressive energy, but also one that likes to fight for the underdog, as well as for itself. So I personally see the primary objective of this 14-year transit being revolutions and uprisings, as the everyday people fight back against their oppressors to get what they deserve, as the deep internalized societal wounds that have come to light over the past 14 years of Neptune and Pisces finally get addressed. Aries is a sign of action after all, and they like to attack things head on. This next era and generation is not only led by Aries energy, however. We also have it being supported by Pluto, the planet of destruction and transformation, in the free-thinking and innovative sign of Aquarius. And come this summer, also Uranus, the planet of rebellion and freedom, in the curious and opinionated sign of Gemini. The world we live in is fundamentally evolving all around us. And now is when it shifts into high gear. And in the end, I believe it'll all be for the best. But it's likely to be a bumpy road in the meantime. As I said earlier, this isn't about you. It's about something much, much bigger. But the way to navigate this time with the most ease and finesse is to trust your gut instincts, keep an open mind, and let your intuition guide you. Oh, and be ready to act.
On March 30th, Neptune enters Aries for the first time in our lifetime, and with it, something ancient and unstoppable begins to rise. So if you've been feeling grief that doesn't make sense, unexplainable rage, or an ache that's been moving through your body, you're not imagining things, and you're definitely not alone. This transit is about the suppression of the feminine across millennia, dating back to Abrahamic times. It's about the silencing of emotion, sensuality, spiritual authority, and the right to even fully exist. What's rising now is the party that was never acknowledged, the power, the wisdom, the wildness, and the voice that's been kept quiet for thousands of years. Well, Neptune's the planet of spiritual frequency, and it doesn't give you something new, it draws out what's already within. And as it moves into Aries, that spiritual light enters fire, and it wants action. So if your soul is aligned, this can ignite purpose, for example. But for those stuck in ego, it can cause eruptions of what needs to be released. Well, Neptune enters Aries at 0 degrees, a woman rising from the ocean, and that's about emergence, but it's also about choice. So it asks us, what are you going to create in a world of infinite potential, and does this align with your soul's vision? Well, this gateway is charged by what I call a reverse golden yod. It's a rare harmonic pattern where Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries forms a biquintile to Lilith at 0 degrees Scorpio, and both quintile the apex Pholus at 11 degrees Capricorn. And this creates a spiritual ignition where Neptune's the match, Lilith is the gasoline, and Pholus is the spark. Well, Lilith at a degree called a sightseeing bus speaks to lifetimes of control, of being allowed to look, but punished for wanting. And the feminine's been shamed for her curiosity, her desire, her power, told to sit still, to stay quiet, to behave, but she didn't come here to behave. She came here to remember and to reclaim. And she's not watching anymore. She's taken the wheel and she won't be contained. Well, Pholus is like a mini Pluto, and at a degree called a student of nature lecturing, that grounds the fire by studying it, feeling it, and turning it into wisdom. And he knows that whatever erupts through us can be embodied, taught, and shared. And this pattern doesn't just activate, it harmonizes quantum instructions and brings them down into form. And this begins a new 165-year cycle of spiritual evolution, and it starts with a purge, with the remembering and with the reclaiming of our voice. So if you've been crying or feeling fire under your skin, this is the spiritual light entering your body, and you're not imagining it, you're integrating it. So stay grounded, stay present, ask what's surfacing, and ask what's ready to be acknowledged. Neptune in Aries isn't here to keep things peaceful, it's here to make things real. Your voice is returning, your fire's been lit, and the feminine within you is no longer asking to be seen, she's demanding to be acknowledged, and she wants to live life on her own terms.
I bring the light right back. I bring the light right back. I'm gonna make you more. I'm gonna be your new favorite. Telling you closing the door. I am the only for sure. No, babe. Hold up, there shouldn't be no hold up. There's more love if you follow emotion. Show up, now if you're down to roll up, meet me on the